the CJNG. You're just a normal guy, and a few months ago, you joined Carteles Unidos, a union formed to stop the CJNG from completely taking over your region in the Mahoacan. You wanted to protect your home, but that will end soon, because a group of professional hitmen from your rival cartel just got the order to do what is known as one of the most brutal torture techniques in cartel history: to trim off the skin of your face, alive. They want to show what happens when you resist the new generation. The statement has to be clear. Unfortunately, you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. They capture you and transport you to their territory, where rescue is impossible. Upon arrival, a high-level hitman, known for his calm demeanor while performing surgical mutilations, begins a circular cut from your hairline, moving behind your ears to your chin. Obviously, you scream, but there is, and there won't be, any help. He uses the tip of his knife to separate your skin from your facial muscles. No anesthetics, no drugs to reduce the pain, just raw, cold steel. I will say, though, it's a high-quality knife. This is one of the most painful experiences imaginable, because the human face has the highest concentration of nerve endings in the entire body. Once the skin sits loose on your face, the hitman peels it away in one piece. Ew. What you're experiencing is a CJNG signature. They have transformed you into a living red skull. Finally, as your last moments approach, the hitman grabs a tactical knife. He makes a deep, vertical cut from the base of your neck to your abdomen. Your intestines are exposed, yet you remain alive until he reaches into your chest, grabs your heart with his bare hands, and pulls it out. In the background, the other hitmen cheer and laugh, treating the execution like a sports victory rather than a murder. And yes, scenes exactly like this were part of the gruesome reality of the war between CJNG and Carteles Unidos in Mahoacan in 2018. So you were one of the many unlucky victims. But let's step away from knives for a minute and talk about some bigger tools. The Gulf Cartel. You and your nephew, both lower-ranking soldiers in the Sinaloa Cartel, just infiltrated the Gulf Cartel. For years, you pretended to be loyal soldiers, but in reality, you gathered intelligence on safe houses, corrupt officials, and supply chain routes. Then you handed it all to the honest cops. The raids came, and the cartel bled. Unfortunately, you thought they were stupid enough to believe your lies. Yeah, they weren't, so they caught you and your nephew. Both of you get captured and taken to the slaughterhouse. And now, you're sitting against a wall, shirtless, and tied up. In the room with you are the people you betrayed for years, and they want to see you suffer. It makes sense. I can't even forgive my colleague for eating the lunch I brought to work. Now you experience that the Gulf Cartel has a completely different approach to torture. It has to be loud, it has to be bloody, and it has to be brutal. In the next moment, you see the executioner grab a chainsaw, pull the cord, and it roars to life. But he doesn't start with you. He goes for your nephew first. The executioner doesn't kill him right away. No. First, he revs the engine inches from his face to scare him. When he finally moves in, he puts the spinning blade against the side of his neck. The teeth of the chain rip through skin and muscle. The engine screams for several seconds as the blade chews through the neck until the head is severed. You are forced to sit just inches away, watching them butcher your own family. And now it's your turn. The chainsaw roars to life against your neck, but it jams on bone. The pain is indescribable, metal teeth grinding against your spine, unable to cut through. The only sound left is your blood gargling, your stressed breathing, and of course your screaming before a large hunting knife finishes what the machine couldn't. Again, as it turned out, this was the end of Felix Gomez Garcia and his nephew Barnaby Gomez Castro after snitching and betraying the Gulf Cartel for years. The Sinaloa Cartel. You're a rival sicario or a government official who refuses to talk or take a bribe. You're captured, blindfolded, and driven deep into the mountains of the Sierra Madre Occidental, where no one will ever find you. When the blindfold comes off, you aren't in a dark basement, as probably expected. Instead, you're tied to a chair in front of a cage, just inches away from a 500-pound apex predator, a Bengal tiger. How do they even capture it? Nobody knows. It is the ultimate intimidation tool. Even the toughest soldiers can stay quiet when staring down the barrel of a gun. But not you. You feel the hot breath and hear the growl of the tiger, and you realize you are about to become its next meal. Or scratching post. You try to stay calm at the beginning, but that means nothing because hours bleed into days and days feel like weeks. And the worst part? The Chapitos, the sons of El Chapo, sit nearby, sipping expensive tequila, watching you break. They want you to spend the last hours realizing you are nothing more than a snack for what's behind the fence. And when feeding day comes, it's treated like a spectacle, a special kind of party for the inner circle. Why? Because, yes, you'll fight for your life, at least as long as you can. But there isn't even a chance against a 500-pound cat. It's simply for their entertainment. You know this because you saw it multiple times on other victims who got captured with you. You know what's coming. The cage door opens, but your mind is already defeated, and you tell the cartel everything they want to hear. But is there a reward for talking? Not really. If you're lucky, you'll receive a bullet in the head. But most of the time, the victims are still forced to go into the cage. And yes, this was actually the favorite torture method of the sons of El Chapo back in the 2010s. Let's just say they like to add a layer of ancient primal horror to their torture arsenal. But nothing beats this next one. Los Zetas. You are a migrant, or a normal bus passenger, traveling through Tamaulipas, trying to reach the border for a better life. Suddenly, your bus gets intercepted by armed men in military gear. Turns out these people are soldiers from the Los Zetas, a cartel that transformed the drug war into public terror. Now, you and all the other bus passengers get taken to a remote ranch. Where? Nobody knows. I did say remote, after all. You think they probably just expect a ransom. But the Zetas have something much darker in mind. Money isn't their goal on this mission. See, they want to find out if you have the spirit of a killer, someone who will do whatever it takes to survive. And just a few moments later, the gladiator games begin. Yeah, gladiator games! You can choose between a sledgehammer and a machete. Then they point to another passenger, who could be a friend you met on the bus or a total stranger. At that point, it doesn't matter anymore, because the order is simple. Kill them or be killed. This is the Zeta's very unique version of a job interview. But for what job? And why gladiator games of all things? You see, they force civilians to fight each other to the death in a blood-soaked circle while the hitmen watch and cheer, probably making bets on who will be the next member in their ranks. Simply, it's nothing more than a recruitment and desensitization process to see if you could be a future hitman for the cartel. If you win, you've proven you can kill without mercy, and you are forced into their ranks as a new soldier. If you refuse to fight, well, natural selection? You choose the machete and are ready to fight your opponent. As ready as you'll ever be, I guess. You immediately regret your weapon choice as the sledgehammer connects with your head, shatters your skull, and ends with your brains draining onto a field in the middle of nowhere. Well, good thing this happened to you. If you'd won, you'd be a murderer forced into a lifetime of working for the cartel, from which there is no escape. Damn. The Guadalajara Cartel. You're heading to lunch to meet your wife in Guadalajara, Mexico, when two men grab you from behind. Well, no surprise! You've just been kidnapped by the Guadalajara Cartel, the original architects of Mexico's drug trade, and you have 30 hours left to live. They bring you to Rafael Caro Quintero's luxury residence, the co-founder of the Guadalajara Cartel. And this is where your nightmare begins. The cartel starts with a brutal physical beating using a tire iron and a rebar. Classic! After that, a powerful drill is used to penetrate your skull, and electric shocks keep your nervous system in a state of constant shock, along with cigarette burns and thermal injuries across your body. And less classic. But this is not just an outburst of anger. No, it's systematic torture. And they will keep you alive as long as possible. How are they doing it? Well, the cartel brings Dr. Humberto Alvarez McCain, a professional who has no problem accepting cartel money to ensure you wouldn't die too soon. When the doctor realizes you might slip into a coma, he injects lidocaine and adrenaline directly into your heart or veins. to restart your system and force you back into consciousness. Wakey, wakey there, guy. With that in mind, you know you will be present through the complete torture. Well, that's going to be absolutely brutal. The cartel also blindfolds you for the complete 30 hours. Throughout the process, you are in a state of perpetual terror, never knowing when or where the next blow will land. Blow, stab, drill, cut, maim, burn, repeat. Secondly, they also decide to record your painful screams and confessions, just to play them back and mock you. They want to know everything you had discovered, and who you discovered it with. But the pain doesn't end here. The cartel also claims to know where your wife and kids are, telling you they are next in line. And the absolute most disgusting part? As it turns out, those who are standing guard and watching you bleed are actually corrupt Mexican federal agents. Men who wear badges and swore to uphold the law have switched sides to the cartel for a suitcase full of cash. After 30 hours of pure horror, you are finally allowed to die. For real this time. Wait a minute. Confessions? A family? And corrupt colleagues? Yes, what you just witnessed is based on a true story that happened February 7th, 1985, to DEA agent Enrique Salazar Camarena, after discovering and infiltrating the cannabis farm Rancho Buffalo. On this day, the Guadalajara cartel lost $8 billion and sought revenge. Tijuana cartel. Well, I think you know how this is going to go by now. Of course, you just got kidnapped and are tied up in a warehouse somewhere in Tijuana. A guy named Ramon Arellano stands in front of you. He is known as the saddest among the Arellano brothers, and you will understand why in a second. He doesn't say much. He just nods at El Gordo, a massive sicario beside him. And here it begins. First, they wrap a plastic bag over your head. Yes, literally a grocery store bag that gets pulled tight around your neck. Your survival instincts kick in. You start to panic, to scream, but the bag swallows every sound. Your lungs begin to burn as they search for oxygen that isn't there, because with every breath in, you're just pulling the plastic bag deeper into your mouth. And now the real pain starts. El Gordo stands over you. Without warning, he bounces on your chest, his full weight coming down hard over again and again. Your ribs feel like they're caving in. Each bounce forces the remaining air out of your lungs. Your vision blurs, and black spots appear at the edges. Your body involuntarily cramps, but the bag stays. El Gordo stays, and he bounces yet again. A few moments pass, and the last moments are nothing more than your body thrashing, desperate before dying. Ramon watches from across the warehouse. He wants to see it. He wants to see the exact moment the light leaves your eyes. But why you? Well, maybe you were an informant for the DEA, or you didn't pay your route fee, or you were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. Most of the time, with Ramon, it didn't matter. He just killed to dominate. Okay, enough of Mexican cartels. But if you're interested in gang leaders, you should check out this video. Anyways, see you next time.